Most agents think the listing presentation is about getting the listing. It's not. Getting it is the easy part. The hard part is everything after. The calls when there are no offers. The conversation when the seller thinks the marketing isn't working. The negotiation when the negative inspection findings land. Every one of those goes better or worse, depending on what you said and didn't say before the home went active. This video is about the listing presentation nobody teaches anymore. The one that sets expectations before you're even live. We'll walk through the 5 conversations I have before the sign goes in the yard, and why skipping them is what creates the difficult seller later. So let's get to it. Why this matters more now than it did in 2021. The reason expectation setting feels optional to a lot of agents is that for a few years it actually was. In 2022, homes listed on Thursday and sold by Monday. You didn't need to prepare a seller for a slow market because there wasn't one. That produced a whole generation of sellers with no framework for what normal looks like. Today, in most markets, the market favors buyers. There are more than 40% more sellers than buyers. Days on market are lengthening into the 40s, and buyers are picky about condition and price. The mismatch isn't the seller being difficult. It's a recent point problem. Their mental model is 4 years out of date. Your job before you take the home active is to update the seller's reference point with an accurate one. By the way, I'm Doug Smart with Smart Agent Alliance, an eXp Realty sponsor team. We help agents build smarter businesses with better systems, stronger support, weekly masterminds, and an organized portal that brings together Smart Agent Alliance, the Wolfpack, and eXp resources, all at no cost to our agents. We also provide white glove support to help you identify what's missing in your business and connect them with the right resources to fill the gaps. To see the one-page overview, use the link in the description or comment link and we'll provide it. Now let's look at the actual conversations that update the model, starting with the market itself. Number 2, the 5 conversations before you go live. These 5 conversations do the quiet work that keeps the whole listing from turning into a fight later, and they happen in order the seller needs to hear them. The market as it actually is. Don't assume the seller follows the data. Build a simple one-page snapshot, current median days on market, the seller to buy ratio in their price range, the share of listings taking cuts, and the list to sale ratio. Walk it at the table before you talk about their home specifically, what buyers are actually doing. Once the seller sees the market, connect it to the person who's going to write the offer. Tell them plainly, today's buyers have more homes to choose from. They're taking their time, and they'll walk over price or condition without a second thought. That's not a threat to the seller, it's the reason the next 3 conversations matter. When a seller understands the buyer has options, pricing sharp and showing well stops feeling like you're doubting their home and starts feeling like you're competing for the buyer's attention. The showing experience and the seller's role. Tell them plainly, they're part of the marketing. A refused same-day showing is a lost buyer. Set written standards for response time, show-ready condition, pet protocols, and same-day access. A seller who agreed in writing objects a lot less when you enforce it. The timeline and what each phase looks like. Walk weeks 1 through 3 before going live. Week 1 is peak new listing exposure, where you establish the showing baseline. Week 2 is when feedback accumulates and you'll know if price and presentation are landing as anticipated. Week 3 is the decision point. If volume or offers lag, that's when the price conversation happens. Proactively, with data. How you make decisions together. Set the protocol up front. A weekly written update, a scheduled 14-day data review, and a simple rule. If something needs action sooner, I'll call, not text, and we decide on data, not emotion. Sellers who don't hear from you for 10 days invent narratives, and they're rarely optimistic. Rules on all of this can vary by market. Confirm what you can put in writing with a seller, with your broker, before you set these standards. By the way, if you're finding this information useful at all, please subscribe. It motivates us to provide it. Number 3, the one thing most presentations leave out. Here's the part that ties all 5 conversations together, and it's the part almost no one teaches. The traditional presentation is built to win the listing. The framework is built to win the relationship, which is what actually produces the sale, the referral, and the repeat client. The agents struggling with difficult sellers right now mostly aren't struggling because of the market. They're struggling because the expectation setting conversation never happened. The seller who calls at day 15, frustrated that the showings have dried up and the offers aren't coming, was never told what day 18 was supposed to look like. So he assumes something's wrong. The agent, the marketing, the effort, when the market was always going to move at this pace. That's the call you're preventing. So, the setting expectations early costs you the listing. Now, it's what keeps you from losing the seller after you get it. The takeaway here is that the presentation that wins the listing and the presentation that keeps the client are two different conversations. And the second one is the one that pays you. Have the 5 conversations before the sign goes in the yard, and the hard moments later stop being surprises. If the showings have already gone quiet on the listing you've got now, watch our video on what to do in the first 48 hours when the listing goes cold. And to handle the seller asking about pre-market listings, watch the one on what to say when sellers ask. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.